So that way, if anybody is not able to log in today, I can send that recorded link. Or if you ever want to go back and watch it again, feel free. You'll have that link in a follow-up email that I'll send to you either later tonight or tomorrow. So my name is Brittany, and I am very excited to be working with Empire Elementary again. I got to work with a group of your teachers last year when we were working on the very first cohort through OSIT. So I know Liz Dominski really well through that experience. And I was actually talking to her about y'all receiving the grant to continue this year. So they're really excited about your partnership with us through the grant that I believe y'all received through their office. And she was also kind of telling me about the state of CCISD, I believe it is, right? That y'all are in. And goodness gracious, my heart goes out to y'all for that. So if I can ever be of support, definitely let me know that. On the call, we also have, I believe, Marnie, is it? I've never actually met you. I've only seen you in emails. So is it Marnie or Marnie?
Marnie.
Okay, got it. Well, thank you for being here. Would you like to pop in and say hello or share anything?
Yeah, see, that's why I was like,
yes, so happy to be here with you this evening. I am your school's coach for their certification process. So Adrian and I have met virtually a few times, and actually I get to come out to your school on Wednesday the 27th. So I'll be leading some PD and getting to do some walks, and Adrian and I are going to be working on some other indicators. So I'm super excited to actually get to meet you guys in person next week.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
I did go ahead and drop today's slides in the chat. So if you're one who wants to pull up the slides for today, feel free. I know when I'm on my computer, sometimes I like to pull them up on my phone. So I also included a QR code here. If you would like to scan it with your phone, it should pull up today's slides as well. We are a super small group, so if you have any questions, I will be trying to keep an eye on the chat, but feel free to unmute and say, whoa, Brittany, you're going way too fast, or whoa, Brittany, you're going way too slow, or ask whatever it is that's on your mind. So we're here to support you through this process. Again, you have a great team of folks from your campus that have done this before, so they'll be able to support you as well. But as your coach, going to be your biggest cheerleader and give you the biggest tips that I can to help you through this process. So a little bit about me. I am one of the lead NCST coaches. So of course, in education, we all like our acronyms. So just to kind of point out some things, I work for the company that we call NISE, which stands for the National Institute for STEM Education. NCST is the certificate that you as a teacher going through our program, that's what you will earn, is your National Certificate for STEM Teaching. Your campus is actually going through the National Certificate of STEM Education, which we call NCSE. So we have all the acronyms flowing. I am a Texas educator with 16 years of experience, and I've been with NISE since 2020, and I've been in the lead coach role since probably 2021, I would say. I'm a mom of 2 boys, and I have an awesome husband who helps me wrangle those 2 boys that keep me very busy. So today we're going to actually begin by working on indicator 7. we will essentially go through 38 submissions or 38 indicators. Basically, it's a written assignment that you'll turn into me, your coach. Those written assignments I will review and give feedback to. Today, I'm jumping all the way to indicator 7 because I do that by intention to let you know that you do not have to work on the indicators in order. You do not have to begin with 1 and end with 38. It's up to you if you want to move around and work on them in any order that you choose. Today, we're going to kind of begin a little oppositely. I'm just going to kind of dive right into the process versus explaining the process. I'm one who learns by doing, so I would rather just have you learn by doing. So the first thing, sorry, my mouse is a little finicky. The first thing that you're going to need is a collecting evidence document. Oh my goodness gracious. If you click on the link in the slides, it's actually linked and it'll pull up indicator 7. If you're not able to access it from the slides, I am going to put it in the chat. I thought I had the link ready. Well, maybe I don't. So it should work this way. So collecting evidence document. So you should be able to click on that link and it should pull up your indicator 7 collecting evidence document. You may have to download it to be able to edit it, where you can work on it right then and there. You'll see here once I download it, it is an editable version. So I can click anywhere I need to click. And then down here in the bottom, I do have some text boxes. If you printed this, or if you have the ability to print it right now and access it right now, you can print it and fill it out with pen and paper. Either way works for me. What we're going to do in just a moment is I'm going to ask you to watch a video and complete your collecting evidence document. Anybody have questions about the collecting evidence document or need help accessing it? All right, I think I'm not hearing much, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the link. So the video is also linked. I am not
That's everything.
going to play it through my computer because with Zoom and YouTube, sometimes there is some playback. I am going to ask you to pull it up on your own device and watch this video. I will also drop the link in the chat. So for today, I am going to ask you to watch the first 15 minutes. While you're watching it, I am going to ask you to work on completing your collecting evidence document. So it is about 3:40 your time. So we're going to come back together at 3:55 to talk about that video and that collecting evidence document. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for the thumbs up. That lets me know we're good. Yeah, I totally get if you're driving and you need to watch it later. I will send the link out if I get it. Life happens and we live on the go. All right. My clock shows that it should be 3:55. So if you would either give me a thumbs up in your camera or a thumbs up on by clicking the thumb up to let me know that you're back with me. Or you can just unmute and say, we're back. All right, I only have one. And there's two. Give me a couple more thumbs up letting me know that you're back. Yeah. If you didn't watch all 15 minutes, that's okay. I think I'll be able to help you fill in the gaps just a little bit. So the next thing that I have linked in our presentation is what I call the context of the observation. Anytime we ask you to do an observation, we are going to ask you to jot down some context. Your context for today, I went ahead and just kind of jotted some down when I watched this one time, but I want to preface this. Yours do not have to be this detailed. Your context should give me an overall view of what's taking place. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but I just wanted to kind of show that to you. But I also wanted you to show you my completed collecting evidence document, because I know you may not have seen all of the time intervals. So that video that you watched today is a really good one to see a lot of different teaching strategies taking place. So that way you could actually use it for multiple indicators or multiple assignments. So here's my first really big trick for you, or tip for you. You do not have to do 38 individual observations. My coach didn't tell me that when I went through this, and I did learn the hard way, and I did 38 individual observations. We don't expect that from you. We actually clue you in on the trick that you can use your observations for multiple indicators. That doesn't mean I want you to watch one observation and turn in all of your indicators. That's not the case. We do want you to see a variety of teaching. We would love for you to be going on learning walks together as a team, but we do have a video portal for you because we also know the real world of being on a campus and how crazy and hectic it gets. So we have some variety to your observations. You can rely on that video portal, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in a minute as well. But for today, I wanted you to see my completed collecting evidence document. If you watched her a little bit longer, you would have probably picked up on at the beginning of class, those first 2 time intervals, there is not student interaction taking place. She was the main speaker, doing most of the talking and leading the group, with her being at the front of the classroom. You'll also see, so if you zoom in, it was kind of large group instruction, right? And then we kind of checked mark academically meaningful, academically non-meaningful conversation taking place. Then whenever we switched, so between intervals 6 and 9, that's when the students were able to go with their lab groups for the energy transformation lab. And then for the rest of the time, they were working in small groups. So there were student to student interactions. They were in small groups. And for the most part, the conversations that I heard were academically meaningful conversations. And then I reflected on that down here at the bottom. So there's a completed collecting evidence document. Now we're going to kind of talk about this observation. And to do that, we are going to use just kind of this very basic document that I put in the chat called discussion notes. You can also find the link for it in the slides under discussion about this observation. So it's linked here as well. This is where I do not want to be the sage on the stage. I want you guys to help me with this. So you can unmute, you can put it in the chat. You should also be able to, yes, edit right here on this document. So my first question to you guys is, look at this rubric. What level do you think this teacher is on? So take a look at the rubric and say, what level do you think this teacher is on? Is she role model? Is she proficient? Is she gaining skill? Or is she novice? All right, so I have one thought for gaining skill. Sorry, kids and pups at home. Any other thoughts? So we have a couple other thoughts coming in. Now we have a couple proficient. So whenever you're looking at the rubric, we're going to be picking out what's different from level to level. So kind of think about that. And that's going to be my next question. What is different on the rubric from level to level? Yes, so the amount of teacher to student interaction, so the level of interactions. And really on this one, we're focusing on student to student interactions. There will be another indicator that focuses on student to teacher interactions. So here we're looking at basically the amount or timing of student to student interactions. Is it rarely available for students? Is it occasional? Is it interspersed with teacher to student interactions? Or is it continually available? So as you move up the rubric, you'll see there's more and more opportunity for student to student interactions. Now we have two different levels selected tonight. We have gaining skill and we have proficient. Honestly, you can pick whichever level you believe in as long as you can support it. So my next question is, what evidence would you use to support your rubric level? When I say evidence, I want you to think about, what did you see the teacher doing? What did you see the students doing? What did you hear from the teacher? What did you hear from the students? I can't write today. Did you see the teacher doing? So what could we specifically say that we observed? Okay, so here, the specific evidence would be the students were engaged with teacher posed questions and discussing and demonstrating at the tables. I love that. And then, so I'm just going to kind of jot some of it down. Amy is saying that the teacher mostly talked. I completely agree with that, especially at the beginning. That first 6 minutes, it was her talking and talking and talking. And then once the students were able to go to their groups, they were able to have those conversations with her coming around and kind of checking. So all of these things that you're saying, that would be great specific evidence to support your claim. I'm also a very black and white, try to incorporate data when I can type of person. So for this indicator, it is pretty easy to incorporate some black and white data of what you saw. What I mean by that is if we go back and we look at our indicator 7, let me find the right version. Here we go. Well, that one's not the right version. This is the right version. I could even state some statistics. I could say the majority of the time, the students were able to have student-to-student conversations. In fact, out of the time intervals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 out of the 6 time intervals, the students were able to have student-to-student conversations. I could say 14 out of the 20 minutes or 14 out of the 18 minutes. Am I doing my math right? No, I'm not doing my math right. But I can specifically state minutes of how much time she gave the students to have student-to-student interactions versus not having the student-to-student interactions. And overall, the majority of the time, they were able to converse. So that would be what I would kind of focus on next. Then the last thing I want you to think about today is if you were coaching this teacher, how would you help this teacher grow or improve? What would you tell this teacher to help her increase the student-to-student interactions that her kiddos have in class? Think of a specific strategy that she could use that would help her in regard to increasing the amount of time students are able to have conversations. What do you think? Again, you can jot it on the document, you can put it in the chat, you can unmute, whatever you prefer. So a role for each student and then rotate. Open-ended questions. So again, you guys are doing it. You're giving specific suggestions that would increase the amount that the students get to collaborate with their peers. I like the setting up of expectations for collaboration, all of it. It's good specific strategies. What I want you to think about in this program is we're not going to ask her to change everything. What we want to pose to her as her academic coach, so that's kind of our reflection mode, is we're going to have you pretend like you're her academic coach, and we don't want to overwhelm her and we don't want to give her too much. We want to give her just like one little strategy that tomorrow she could walk into her classroom and put into action to help with this specific indicator. Like for me, I did not really care for the way that she checked homework at the beginning because again, it was very much Sage on the stage, her leading the conversation, and then the kiddos were having to really with the whole group kind of show if they had gotten the questions right or wrong. So for me, my suggestion was find a different way to assess students' homework at the beginning. Maybe allow the students to do a think, pair, share about the problems. Maybe they compare with a neighbor and they discuss the questions that they had different and come to a resolution on what the answer is. So for me, I would specifically address that time at the beginning of class and really the do now and the checking of the homework and how she can encourage the students to collaborate in a very structured and efficient way. So that's the process. What questions do y'all have so far, if any? All right. You basically just did the work for indicator 7. It's not turned in beautifully into a submission, but that's what we're going to work on next. That's our process. You observe a teacher, you rate the teacher on the rubric that's provided, and every indicator has its own specific rubric. You justify with evidence and reasoning why you picked that level on the rubric. And then you give the teacher suggestions on how to improve within that specific area. If you thought this is manageable, then you totally got this program. It's not it's not challenging. You just kind of learn the process. And so I love to work on our live launches in this way, where you see the process without really seeing the process. So now we're going to take a look at the portal. If you cannot log into the portal, definitely let me know that. We need to make sure that you can log in. I'm actually going to log into a demo account real quick. So when you log in, it looks like this. If you are also, oh, let me give you the link. Yes. You should have been emailed an email a long time ago, where you were able to set up your username, your password, with your email as your username. If you don't have access to it, that's okay for tonight. For tonight, just kind of watch. And then tomorrow, I'll make sure that you get access. So if you don't have access tonight, just kind of pay attention. And then tomorrow, I'll follow through and make sure you can log in. And then you can go in and submit. So tonight, I'm going to kind of walk you through the portal. I'm only going to hit the highlights or the places that I feel are most important. So when you first log in, you're going to scroll down to where you see this blue box, and you're going to click the launch button. Again, it's National Certificate for STEM Teaching. Click launch. When you first log in, you're going to see your portal. This is your dashboard, and it'll let you kind of monitor your progress in a really quick snapshot. Anytime you have a submission approved by me, you'll see that they'll start totaling up right here. Anytime you turn in a submission to me, it'll go be added right here. Notice I have one submitted, but I don't have any completed. That means I'm waiting on my coach to give me some feedback. Anytime I give you feedback, you'll get an email that you've gotten feedback, but it'll also pop up here. I highly encourage you to read your feedback. I am the type of coach where I like to grow as we go. So I will not ask for a resubmit the first time. I will give you tips on how to improve in your next submission. So at first, turn in one submission at a time and make sure you get that feedback, because in case you're doing something wrong or you're not hitting the target, I want to be able to have that opportunity to tell you. So make sure you read your feedback, because I'll always be able to hopefully provide you with tips and tricks on how to improve. Once you've got a good 5 to 7 under your belt and I'm approving them, then you can turn in more than one submission at a time. What we've had is candidates will work on a weekend and turn in 10 submissions and be completely off topic. And then I'll have to ask for a resubmit on all 10, and it's frustrating for the candidate, and we don't want that. So just make sure that you and I are aligned on your work before you put in tons of indicator submissions at one time. Up here on this blue bar, really the most important buttons are the email button. So if you ever have a question, it will come to me as your coach and I can answer it. So if you need to email me, you can email me if you already have my email saved, or if it's easier, you can email me from the portal right here. When I email you back, it actually goes to your email inbox. It doesn't come here in the portal. And then the other button is the home button. So if you ever get lost somewhere in the portal, which it happens, feel free to hit the home button and it'll bring you back to the beginning. Now, over here in this blue bar, you'll have a couple other pretty important icons. The first one is your dashboard, which you see right here. The next one is the NCST certificate map, or it's the same thing if you click the launch button. So you'll probably use the NCST certificate map more than anything else. Submission history is okay. I really didn't use it much as a candidate. I never really used my notes as a candidate. Now the help section, it is pretty helpful because it is very short videos, kind of like what I'm doing tonight, where you have someone walking you through the portal or a submission. So if you are struggling, this would be a good place to go for help, or reach out to me and I'll be glad to help you as well.
And Brittany, we also, just to add, and I think they know, we have 7 teachers at our school who have gone through this, so they can also reach out to any of us if they need help along the way, help finding stuff, any of that.
Yes, perfect. And they actually did a lot of work with me last year too. So feel free to share any of our information from our sessions just to kind of guide them along. So the video library is here. You know, I mentioned it earlier where you can use observations that are videos. So as far as an observation goes, you can record and observe your own teaching. You can do learning walks and observe colleagues. You can use any video you find on the internet, or we do have a portal set up here for you. Keep in mind, the portal is not all exemplars. So they're not all role models. We have a variation, so you can see a lot of different teaching to be able to reflect on it. You can sort it. So knowing that y'all are in elementary school, you might want to sort it by elementary. You can sort it by action, or you can sort it by indicator. So like today, we're indicator 7. If I click apply, I'll see some observations here that would apply to indicator 7. I actually taught middle school. So if I did middle school and then indicator 7, you'll see that video that we actually watched today. I gave you a YouTube link, but it's actually right here in the portal. So check out the portal videos. They're there for you in a pinch when you need them to help you get those submissions completed. The last thing that I want to point out in this before I really dive into the NCST certificate map is the collecting evidence library. So if you click on this button right here, it's going to pull up a large document. So it's a PDF. And it is every single indicator in one document. I point this out because I know some people prefer paper versus the digital copies. If you are one that prefers paper and you want to print these, this is the easiest way to print them, where they're all in one document. You can print them, fill them out with pen and paper, snap a picture and turn in your picture, or you can use the digital version like we did tonight for indicator 7 in my example. 2 options. really, no matter which way you get your collecting evidence document turned in, as long as I can see it and see that it's complete and look at your observation and kind of get an understanding of what's taking place, we're all good. If I can't see it or if I'm having issues, I'll definitely let you know and I'll reach out to you. But keep it easy, whatever makes sense for you, whatever process works best for you. The last button that I'm going to go back to tonight is your NCST certificate map. When you look at this, if you click expand all, you will see all 38 indicators listed. To me, that's the easiest way to get in and do your work. You'll also see two icons. You'll see the computer or the laptop. That's for you to be able to do some learning. So we don't just expect you to know about student-to-student interactions. We actually have a learning portal set up for you. You can go through the laptop, the content at your own pace, spend as much time as you need in the learning. Once you've read about it, you've looked at the different examples, you'll see it is interactive as well. Then you're ready to turn in your work to your coach. That's when you'll click on the portfolio or the briefcase. That's where you'll actually turn in your assignment to me. You'll see the plus signs that are up here. They are the same on every indicator. The first couple of times when you're working on an indicator, you might want to review this. It might be pretty helpful. But once you get in the groove, you'll probably just breeze right on by them. Your collecting evidence document by indicator can be found in the last plus sign. So you'll see here, this is where I pulled up that indicator 7 that we worked on tonight in the editable version. Now let's talk about how do I actually turn in, what do I turn into my coach? How do I turn it in? What does it look like? So the next thing that I'm going to list in the chat is kind of an example completed document. For today's launch, feel free to use this. You don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel for indicator 7. We've worked through it together enough. So if you want to use my example, I would be happy for you to use my example. So you'll see here, the first thing that you need is your collecting evidence, is your contextual data. So here is my contextual data. I just jotted down some notes about the observation. And remember how we talked about you can reuse your observations from or different indicators. You can reuse your contextual data as well. So this is the first piece. I would copy and paste this into my portal into section 1. Mine's already been turned in, so I can't actually copy and paste it, but it goes right here in section 1.
And Brittany, just to clarify, they can do this right now with you on their 7, right? They want to copy and paste and get it done tonight and turned in. They can do it along with you.
And then I will go in and give them, yay, I'm so glad you were done with your first indicator. So yes, I highly encourage you go ahead and turn it in tonight. The second step is to upload your collecting evidence document. So again, on my working document, I already have one. If you want to use mine, I know you worked on yours. If you want to use yours, that's fine. Or you can download mine and you'll upload it to the portal. So you just select the item on your computer and upload it right here into section 2.
Brittany, real quick, can you tell us where we're going? I copied and I'm trying to paste it, but I don't know where to go to paste.
So right here under provide contextual data, you'll find a little box. You want me to back up and
I
show you
think she
where to
needs, yeah,
Yeah.
I think she
Okay.
needs you to back up again to where you went. Sorry.
From the
Brittany.
very beginning. I'm sorry. I don't know where we went.
No, you're fine. That's the part that I struggled with as a candidate. And I told the group that I worked with last year, I didn't turn in my first indicator for 6 months just because the portal scared me and I didn't know where anything was. So if that's you, ask questions. Let me show you. So the easiest way to get in from your dashboard is click on NCST certificate map. Then you'll click expand all. Then we're going to scroll down to indicator 7 and you'll click on the portfolio. Then you scroll down and you'll start seeing the submission where you can copy and paste your information into the submission form. Everybody with me?
Okay, so I'm there. So what is the first one you clicked on?
So the first one is so we're on indicator 7, right? You'll see the first thing that you're going to put in is you're collecting evidence or your contextual data. My kids are here and they are being quite loud. I'm so sorry if you can hear them in the background. So you'll see here, I have section 1, contextual data. And then you're going to copy and paste this here, those bullets. And you'll put it in your portal right here under section 1. So that'll go here. Mine, because I've already submitted mine technically once before, it's not letting me alter it right now, but you should be able to click in this box and copy and paste. Step 2 is upload that collecting evidence document. So again, right here, you should be able to click upload and upload a file from your computer. So you can either upload your version that you worked on tonight or my version from tonight, either one.
And Brittany, I'm sorry, I'm going to just jump in because I see the first grade teachers all there together trying to get this in. And if there are any problems tomorrow, I can come and help anybody who has problems with figuring out where to go and copy and paste to try to get this first one turned in. So I can help you guys tomorrow if you need help.
Yeah, and I will also send out the video so you'll be able to see, like, again, because I know I go pretty fast because we only have an hour. So I go pretty fast during this part. But if you're ever confused, reach out to me. I'm like, I can do a screencast even to you just to answer your question if you're struggling. So definitely ask, or thanks to Adrian for being there and probably saving the day for many of y'all. The next step is make a claim using the rubric. So here we've already talked about the rubric. All you have to do is click which level you feel the teacher fell on. I believe most of you are selecting proficient, or you can click on gaining skill, whichever one you believed she was at. And then if we scroll down a little bit more, you'll see section 4, cite specific examples. I'm going to scroll down on my working document. Oh, that's the wrong one. I have multiple documents going. So you'll see here, I actually wrote mine out. Again, feel free to use mine. You'll see I started with I rated the teacher because, And then I talked about some of the specific evidence that you guys were quoting. I even included 4 out of the 6 intervals had student interactions. So I would copy that. Again, it's under section 4. And in my portal, it's going to go under section 4. So I would copy and paste that there. So section 4, copy and paste here. Under section 4, you'll see another box that says cite additional examples recommended. Notice how I left this blank. You do not have to provide additional examples for me. I prefer quality over quantity. So if you can cite really good, strong evidence, you don't need to give me more evidence. The last section is section 5, suggest improvements. Now you're going to tell the teacher in your best coaching voice how the teacher can improve. When you think of this, again, we want to make it small, doable ideas. So really, if I'm talking about the rubric, I want them to grow 1 level on the rubric. So if the teacher was at gaining skill, my goal is to help the teacher become proficient. If the teacher was at proficient, my goal is to help the teacher to become role model. So we're going to grow 1 level. Again, we don't have to go from novice to role model all in one day. You'll also see here on my example, I have section 5, suggest improvements, and I wrote out what I think should happen to improve her strategies. And then I would copy and paste it and put it in this box right here under section 5. You'll see another green box. The green box again is optional. You'll notice on mine, I did not put anything. You can add more, but it's not required. Add artifacts again is optional, section 6. Again, you'll notice on mine, I left it blank. If you want to give me artifacts, great, but it's not required. And then you'll make sure you scroll all the way down and click submit. So I'm 3 minutes over, but I feel like you just got the fast and furious process and how to actually submit this to your coach. So when I email you tomorrow, I'm going to send you 3 things. I'm going to send you the video link to tonight. I'm going to send you the slides, and I'm also going to send you my example 7. If for some reason you don't snag them tonight, you will have them tomorrow. So if you need some extra time to kind of play with it and figure out the portal a little bit more, you'll have those resources to be able to take and use and hopefully complete your very first indicator 7. It's because I'm already over our hour time. I don't want to ask you to stay any longer, but I will hang on if you have any questions. I will be glad to answer them. And then like I said, here's my email. I'm here to support you throughout this whole journey, and I'll be there with you every step of the way. So if you need anything, please, please, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to help. Thank you so much. Again, if you feel like you're good to go, feel free to log off. If you want to hang out and ask some questions, I'll be glad to hang on.
And Brittany's awesome. We worked close last year. So if you need to reach out, she's available. She's awesome.
Thank you. I'm excited to, like I said, I kind of get to keep several schools in the area. So I'm excited to keep working with this group and hopefully change some of maybe your practices or your thoughts.
I appreciate it, Brittany. And I know it's hard for some if we're on Zoom and we're trying to follow along on another screen and doing all of that as well. So I sent out that email. If you need help submitting this indicator, reach out and I will try to stop by your room and try to help you get what you need turned in.
Thank you. I'm so glad they have you there on campus. If y'all need anything, let me know. And I look forward to seeing more work from y'all. And if y'all ever need anything, let me know and we can hop back on and get it all worked out.
Thanks, Brittany. I appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.